This is going to be two poems. So the first one is called Intrepid Bleeding Flesh, scissored from the roaring blue hams, suction tubed out of the lightning rods of the feverish night. To milk all the gasconaded, rampaging, panpsychic automobiles with their flippers and their NASCAR helmets, suitcased between the iridescent buttocks of the marvelous fawn, Graydon, the bloodied pettifoggers and boat skins of the quarrelsome blue mountains. Swishing mouthwash between the bungalows of cigarette ashtrays, and why your skyrocketing beard is somehow tossing flamethrowers between the bloodless werewolf poetesses, passing with rubbery sock-eyed salmon lanterns with their withering bootstrap paws through until the break of halibut, and the silken sutured glowworms which fetishize the cordials of the gasconading disco balls and wind jams that horsetail, the magnet line of all the Anera-poesis and this metallic husk of bronzy and barbizon smooth jazz, as the priestesses of R&B soaked Zabaglione with the equipoise of a sextillion aardwolves yanking the conqueror acorns through the celestializations of Schopenhauer sliced into a mandarin peel of meta comedy. I passionately kiss you between the forest and Claven, all the dream catchers known to Gnosis, and this absolute rage of subliminal Cartagos, which fruition into the Montevideo and the Latin American Zapatiados. As this marvelous violet green Madroni Swiss sidereals as it revolves around the politic of meta language and the Zizekian utopias. Wildflowery Emily Carr's paintings that knit together this Luxor of phalluses swinning like rin-tailed lemur archimboldes in between clitoral dreamscape machines at the speed of sailing river dams poured into the Marusian, the Venusian torsos between the Neptunian oasis and a sea of aneric belts of peppermint quiches. And this cosmic alchemical visitation towards all the cosmogonic corrodioles, and this bronze dumpling, which reigns together, all the bat women and the iron women riding their 1950s metallic Corvettes into the putrefaction of modal realist bipolarization, and the aneroglyphics of the quantum Egyptologists smack open the briefcase of psychiatric principias, the coppery, the moonstones, and the coppery polyester philosophical zombies quilted out of the glowworm Huckabees and huckleberry fins of this Assyrian China, which militarism, the pacifism of all this primordial sin, and the kaleidoscopic rainforest as as it honeysuckles the mediumistic bridge to all the sluices, the Sumerian, this Nietzschean Toltec and peregrination spermatic rhythm, and the sluice of all the metabolic superchargers of the starryscapes of November, as we passionately embrace before the mattress of all chronosphesiac timelessness, and the simple gaze of Rovin Rolkin idolatry, as these dramaturgies are piled into the concretion of a slab of lunar metropolises, which libidinize the redwind spring bed springs of a sextillion amount of moth-eaten bat women, somehow siderealizing their sluices of an infinitesimal palmistry, gently caressing with its knuckled bruised fist an absolute infinity of iconoclastic an absolute infinity of modal realist, iconoclastic, passionate, futuristic idolatries of the 22nd century. All right. So the second poem is a briefer one, and it's called "To Where the Wolf Dog Sins of the Ultimate Transhumanistic Twilight." The boxing glove of these quantum sociologists, which grease open the post-humanistic urticaria of Nietzsche, as the flying houses stampede through the cannibalistic roosters, flinning the belly of preternatural windows across the exit doors of the shattered 21st century Zebroid and Quokka female popes, and their political love-making machines fornicate over the electric battering ram beds as they suction tube the horsepower of all the metabolic Philistines known to womankind, so that burkas it in a gambling quantum parka, as this Plutonian Devashanic digerible, and the velvet antlers somehow tape together all of the tape recorders of the year 3000 in the time of absolute sempiternal peace. Only woman and all the thanatopsis and philo-eschatology of Nietzsche can fully speak an omniversal rhythmatic sperm, and this ovarium between the breaded feathers that somehow tape together the regeneration of all the primordial wriggling together of the boudoirs of Anaeropoesis, and the princess of all the super intelligence and super tasks through the Kripkensteinianism of the werewolves, which insecticide the brute facts of this kaleidoscopic liquidation of all possible language that harpoons the maverick mohawk, siderealizing as it rears on its gasconated gorgon the kestrels with a quadrillion purple-eyed peregrinated falconers that glitter the sphincters of all these Jupiter and juniper spring water that somehow sidereals as in millenarians the shuffling of a quadrillion combinatorical possibilities, raining down all the moth-eaten toads through the haruspecs of the 21st century, and this monastic processional wilderness where 2013 is a Rastafarian goddess, and is gasconading between all the limousines, which somehow glue the plunged flask of saline dripping pine resin, and the zygotic ashtrays which house the cigarette bones and stadiums of female hockey players on the moon, and all this trunculation soaping together the Zocalo Zimbardo of all these beautiful Zizekian utopias, which transcend the dystopia of the metabolic robotic green werewolves, which somehow twists itself upon the rubbery corkscrewed water bottles as these hyper masculine deacons are bleeding upon the anarography, taping together their metallic high heels and kilts of anti-androcentric deflowering, which somehow staples together all this beautiful sauerkraut of the rhythmatic columns of these stacks of burnished mahogany violet tun-starred quaggas as they rear into the reining of all the toads, which somehow shackle the bloodiest swans through this kaleidoscopic entrails of a serial eigenvalue number plugged into an Avogadro's number of backgammon Luciferian and Luciferian and Mariological positions. Thank you so much, and it's truly an endeavor of the mind.